stick around because after their Clarida interview ends, Dusty comes in and we do some Q&A.
People made fun of me. They laughed at me. They criticized me. They said, you're wasting your time. When I turned pro at 143 pounds, they said, your career is over.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 71 of It's Just Bodybuilding. Dusty Hanshaw's not on the call yet, but he's coming. But we're very happy because today we have the 212 Olympia champion, Shaun Clarida, returning to the show on It's Just Bodybuilding.
Man, and let me just start by saying, man, that feels damn good to hear that title.
Yeah, no, I imagine you just blew everyone away with how you looked, man. Like it was crazy. And I have to say to you, congratulations on winning the title when Kamal was at his very best and improved.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a nail biter. It was close, man. I had no idea how it was gonna go, knowing that you just don't walk into a show and beat the champ, especially if he's on, and he was absolutely on
and better.
Yeah, he was definitely improved, definitely better. He was still that trademark crazy condition that he's known for, and we just didn't know, to be honest with you. We just wanted to be able to present the best me, and we made sure to dial it in for both the morning and the night show, and let the chips fall as they may.
I'm actually a bit refreshed to hear you say that you didn't know. Because, some guys are like, I knew I was going to win a month out.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're going up against Kamal and you're going up against George and like, a lot can happen. And, I just wondering, what was the mindset going into the show? I mean, you knew you looked good.
Yeah, no, coming off of third place last year, I knew that if I had improved, which I was, put the size on that was needed, that I would definitely be in the mix. But again, going to the show, there's a lot of hype around, obviously, George and Kamal being a champion and Derek Lunsford, obviously. Again, the goal was just come into my absolute best, bigger, better, improve, and I knew that I made the improvements that was needed, and I was for sure going to be in the mix. My goal was to get into the first call-out, and once I was in that first call-out, I was just ready to work.
Man, so it's hard to know when to start when you got to win, where to start when you got to win like this. Yeah. Let's get this stuff out of the way first. Because I feel like this is going to be the stuff that a lot of people, there's a lot of guys that really want to hear this stuff.
Okay.
And then we can get to the more cerebral stuff. First of all, the size you added.
Yeah.
Now, was that all new muscle, or were you a little flat last year, or did you just come in better and more hydrated? Like, what was that weight?
That was all new muscle. I attribute that to we really increased my food this off season and really got to training really hard this year. Obviously with COVID going on, gyms are closed. But luckily for me, I had an awesome friend named Scott who has a private gym, and his gym is just old school dumbbells and barbells. And I was forced to kind of go back to the old school way of training, barbell rowing, dumbbell rowing, squatting. I had no fancy machines. I had no cables. It was all free weight equipment. And literally within like 3 or 4 months, my body just soaked it all up. It just grew, got harder, got thicker. And I got up to my heaviest weight this off season. So last year for the Olympia, I got up to 190, and I dieted down to 169 for Olympia. This year I got up to my heaviest, which was 200, 201, and we dieted down to obviously that 177 on stage.
2 bills.
Yeah, 2 bills, right?
Man, so with the size, you said you're eating a lot more food. Give us an idea what is actually going in you the last couple of days. You were so full.
So it was good that, my coach, obviously Matt Jansen, was there. Usually he's got 4 or 5 competitors in the show. This year it was just me, just because of timing and the way things went with the schedule. So it was good for us. He actually came down on he was there Sunday, and he literally stayed with me the entire time in the house, and he would kind of check on me hour by hour. So that last week, it was literally meal by meal. So I can give you a kind of rough estimate. We were eating just fish, turkey, and beef as my protein sources, and all we had were rice cakes and white rice as my carb sources, and that was it. And beginning of the week, we were eating little bit more protein, a lot less carbs. kind of just trying to dry out a little bit more, and the water's pretty high. Around, I would say, Wednesday, that's when we started reversing things and decreasing the protein, increasing my carbs, and cutting the water. And then that's when things really got funky and started really seeing a lot more lines and separation and detail. And then Thursday before the show, it was pretty much no food almost. I feel like, we were still eating a lot of carbs, but very little water, very little protein, because at that point in time, we don't really need the protein. And we just kind of just ate, posed, relaxed, and that was it the entire time.
It's funny how things have changed so much. There's, in the old days, there used to be back in the 80s, we used to be cut water like Thursday, like you don't even drink anything.
Yeah.
But so when you say reduce water, how much water are you taking in on Thursday?
Well, that was pretty much it as well. So Thursday, I think I had a total of 20 ounces, I think, of water, like all day, I feel like. So it'd be 4 ounces with this meal, then 4 ounces with this meal, then 12 ounces here. And that was pretty much it. We had pretty much no water on Thursday.
Really, really. And then it's funny because now you got guys saying like they come in fully hydrated to look their driest. It's crazy. This doesn't work for you though, eh?
No, I'm the opposite, man. You can cut my water Thursday. I'm one of those guys that doesn't need a lot of food or also to fill out. So you can pull my food, you can pull my water, and I'm still able to retain that fullness. But when you do put in a little bit of food and you decrease the water, for me personally, everything just kind of just blows up in a good way.
Let's talk about the COVID training that everyone had to go through. There's some people have been just straight hoop. They haven't had any place to train. Some people have had a commercial gym with a private key,
Yeah.
And so tell us about the gym you were in. You said it was all barbells and dumbbells. Like how limited? Like you just had a squat rack and dumbbells, or what were you using?
So it was actually in a base, if you look at it from the front, you don't even know it's a gym. It's like in the back of a building. You have to go up some stairs that has no windows, nothing in it. I have a little key card. I swipe in whenever I want to go. So you walk in, it's literally dumbbell rack that goes from 5 to 120 pound dumbbells. We have one squat rack. We've got a barbell, a bench press, a decline. We had a Smith machine and a leg press, and I think we had a treadmill, and that was pretty much it. So all my movements were based around the Smith machine, the barbell, and the dumbbells, literally. And I got through. Again, I was doing all the basic hammer curls, lateral raises with the dumbbells, barbell rowing with the barbell, obviously for back, rack pulls, squatting, basic stuff. That was it.
Yeah. And how long? What months were you in there before? Because you got back into the gym over time, right? At what point were you back in the gym?
So I was in that gym, my friend Scott gym, from March till about, I'll say late August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because there were a few guys in the show that I thought you could kind of see the COVID. You could tell they had a hard time with access, or maybe the first half of the year was just shit or something like that.
Yeah.
But you, man, you look like you went and lived on another planet for 4 months.
I did, being in that gym, man. But it was great. Like, again, I've gone on record and said this many times. This has probably been my best off season ever, and training there. And it it just brought me back to the bare bones, basic movements that all the champions were doing. Dorian Yates style training, the Ronnie training. I was, again, rack pulling, T-bar rowing, squatting, all that basic stuff that people don't want to do because it hurts. And it's
the stuff that's hard.
That's what put that new size on and made that muscle just look so much denser and thicker on stage this year.
So let's go backstage. So you're backstage, you're looking around, you look damn good. How are you feeling before you walk out for prejudging? I mean, obviously you see Kamal and you're like, well, he's on.
Yeah.
Is your head very clear at that point, or are you everyone has different things they go through?
Me personally, I like to stay away from everyone. So when I went backstage, I saw where everyone was sitting, and I went to the complete opposite side. I found a little spot in the corner. I stepped myself up. I got a small meal in. I was texting Matt back and forth just to kind of just keep in touch with him. Then when they came over to us and said, hey, you guys got about 30 minutes before you're going to go on, I went and got tanned up, put my suit on, and we went to another backstage area where the actual pump-up area was, with the mirrors. And I started just pumping up, looking at myself in the mirror, making sure my tan was good, just checking out my, the lines and everything. And you can see the guys warming up. Kamal's over here pumping up, Derek's over here. But again, for me, man, I don't focus on these guys. I never did from the beginning of my prep, and I wasn't going to start now. Again, I was confident. I knew what I was bringing that was new and improved, and I knew that if the judges like what they saw, I'd be in the mix for sure.
We've all heard stories of like people going out on stage for the finals, and there's been some stories over the years of certain people being tipped off, that maybe it was their day or maybe it wasn't their day, that coming up, like you had no idea. Hey, you're looking at the judging, there's no one at the judging panel giving you the nod, like when you're waiting for everyone's just
exactly. No, I mean, judges are just straightforward. They're looking at everybody. No one's giving you a certain look. Again, I'm just going up there and just battling, man. I'm not looking around much. Obviously I'm looking to my left and I see Kamal's there. So he's obviously right there in the corner of my eye. And, he's battling. So he's taking a step forward. I'm taking a step forward. And we're just trying to hit shot for shot and just trying to kill each other up there.
What did Kamal say to you?
When?
Like afterwards. I mean, you guys had.
Honestly, we didn't say anything to each other.
just on stage there, just like the old like award.
We talked obviously before the show.
Okay.
On a meet and greet, just talking about the year and that we all had, and I was obviously glad that he was up here for the show with everything going on. But when we got backstage, it was a mutual, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Good luck. I see you up there. But after prejudging, I don't think I talked to him. In finals, I didn't get a chance to talk to him either. I was so wound up with emotions and being pulled in 30 different directions, taking photos, that I didn't get the chance to congratulate him or anything. There's nothing wrong. We're still cool. Obviously, it's just in that.
Oh yeah, it's just hectic. It's just hectic.
Yeah. That moment, man. I'm just everywhere. I just don't see what's going on. But I definitely respect Kamal. I respect everyone up there. So.
What obviously I had a million people come up and congratulate you, but there was Jay Cutler was right there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what would have been like if Jay Cutler came up and congratulated me on something, is there anything that really sticks out like that made you think, fuck, that this is just incredible?
The biggest thing was Flex Lewis, actually. I actually talked to Flex obviously on stage. He's the one that put the medal around my neck, and I got the chance to sit with him the next morning at breakfast, and that's when we really got a chance to kind of sit down to ourselves and talk. And he pretty much told me, like, no matter what going forward, man, you are in the history books as the third ever 212 champion, and you're going to carry this division on, and I want you to really represent and really get out there and really put the 212 on the map. Flex has done it for 7 years straight, man, and I've followed his lead, saw what he's done, and he's, again, been the best ambassador. Now I want to kind of do what he's done, obviously creating my own legacy along the way and make him proud as well. So.
Now, where are you right now?
New Jersey. I'm at home.
New Jersey, right, at home. Okay. Now, what's the deal with Florida? They're just going wild down there, aren't they?
You know what, man? Listen, I'm so happy that this show went on. There were a few people wearing masks, but for the most part, they were just living life free. They didn't care. It was crazy. It made things easier for the competitors, man, because the one thing I didn't want to do was get on stage with a mask. I think it would have been a little uncomfortable. But if I had to, obviously I would have done it with no problem. But, they were very welcoming in Orlando. It was fun. I like the fact that if you have your family there with you, you can kind of go to Disney and hang out and everything. So I'm not really sure what the plan is for Olympia going forward as far as location and dates. But if they happen to have it in Orlando again next year, it wouldn't be a bad place.
Right. I've never been to Orlando, and after I think I'm almost on my 30th trip to Vegas, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
Time for change.
Yeah, time for a change. You can only go to Vegas so many times before it loses its luster. It's like when you're at the point where you go all the way to Vegas and people are like, "What'd you do?" And you're like, "Nothing. I just went to the expo."
Yeah.
I didn't see a single thing.
People think that, like, when you go on these trips, you're taking this luxurious vacation. Like, no, this is a business trip.
I'm cooking chicken on a George Foreman in a hotel.
Yeah, seriously. I didn't leave my room. I went to the gym and went to the room, and that was it.
What do you think? What do you think this year, 2020, and everything that we had happen? What does it say about bodybuilding, the bodybuilding industry?
Man, I mean, it's been a crazy year. I mean, with shows being canceled, and it's one of those things that if my hat goes off to every competitor, both amateur and professional, that if you're able to make it through this and get on stage, no matter where you're at, man, it's just, I get my hats off to each and every one of you, because a lot of guys, a lot of girls would have quit. They would have had an excuse, so I couldn't do this because of this, but there's a handful of us that did it, that made it happen despite what was going on. And I understand, again, sometimes there's certain areas that you're unable to do that. I totally get it. I think Australia is in lockdown still right now, and it's unfortunate a lot of these competitors couldn't make it to Olympia that deserve to be here. But again, I'm just very grateful for Dan Solomon, Jake Wood, the entire IFBB family, the Manions who wanted to see this carry on. The last thing they wanted to do was to see this legacy come to a close this year and not have Olympia. So for them to be able to pick this up in just 4 weeks and move it across the country, it just tells you how much they really care about both the athletes and the sport. And if we made it through this, man, we can make it through anything.
Yeah. Everyone had to make it through something this year.
Yeah.
So you're the champ. You had a crazy year. You made all these improvements, but you also are a human being with a life.
Yes.
So what was your low point of the year? What was your low point? Everyone had a real tough point this year, whether it was closing your business or not being able to see your family or, something like that. I mean, what was your biggest challenge of 2020?
I'm not really personal when it comes to social media. I don't put certain things out there because there's certain, that's personal in life. But after last year's Olympia, when I'm on my highest high, and I was preparing for this year, I probably got some of the worst news ever. So I found out my mom was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer.
Yep.
And for me, at that point, nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding, I didn't care about it. I didn't even care about myself. I just wanted to be there for her. And thank God she made it through surgery. Everything went well. And I wanted her to be here in Vegas with me. I felt that this would be the year that I'd win. And I wanted her to be there. But obviously, with her having this going on with COVID, I didn't want her being around that, and she understood that. And that was the biggest challenge for me. And this show was for her.
Yep.
I wanted to quit, and I knew that she wasn't going to allow me to quit no matter what.
Yeah.
She's one of my biggest fans, along with my girlfriend. She's checked on me every single day, prayed for me, and she told me every time she called me, she's like, Shaun, this is your time. This is your year. I see you winning it. And for her to go through that struggle, man, and still want me to continue on my journey, that just pumped me up and motivated me even more. And that's the reason why I went out there the way I did. And I told myself, I'm going to kill everything in sight, man. This show's for her, and I'm not leaving without that title.
Yeah. People see you and Ronnie and all the champions, and you look like superheroes to a lot of the people in the industry. Like, you just get up and eat, sleep, and train, and everything's golden, and the check arrives in the mail, and the gym, you have a private key to the gym, and just like they don't see the challenges, that the regular stuff that happens to all of us behind the scenes.
Exactly. I mean, like you said it perfectly. We're like machines. We go to the gym, we're training, we're doing cardio, and people only see that. But behind that, we're still human beings. We still have feelings. We still have families. We still have good days and bad days. And people need to realize that. I have emotions just like you have emotions. Things aren't perfect all the time. It may look perfect when I'm on that stage. I may look like I'm having a good time. Even for people who aren't doing it, we can walk around and smile, but inside, some people are dying, man. They're being, it's not easy to do what we do, especially at this level. We're sacrificing not only ourselves, but our families, our loved ones. We're taking away from them. And, but at the end of the day, you have to have a strong, supportive team who understands, who believes in you. And I always tell myself, you know what, this is temporary, and it's all going to be worth it.
you come home with the title, man, you know? And so it's definitely worth it. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, you're getting one of like the greatest compliments ever. And it was hilarious the first time I heard it. Someone said, and I've repeated it a bunch of times, it looks like Ronnie got hit with an elevator.
What?
Someone goes, he looks like Ronnie Coleman got squashed with an elevator, pushed it down a foot.
Okay.
And I read that and I thought, oh man, he's going to love that. Compared to Ronnie Coleman. You know what I mean? So basically a mini Ronnie.
I've been hearing it all weekend, Ron. Like mini Ronnie. It's like a combination of Ronnie with a little bit of Flex Wheeler in there as well. And I've been hearing it all weekend.
The front double, there's a Flex Wheeler look to the front double, man, with how your abs sit.
Yeah.
And how the torso comes in and the shape of the legs. And that's definitely, man. And I mean, what does it feel like to, I mean, like you said, you turned pro as a bantamweight, right?
Yeah, 143 pounds.
Yeah, and everyone told you your career was over with. And now people are saying you look like Ronnie and also kind of Flex Wheeler at the same time.
It is so, well, first of all, that's the greatest compliment ever to be even in that same sentence between two legends like that. But I'm one of those guys, man, like I see myself every single day and I'm never happy with my look. And that's probably why I have coaches, because if it were me doing my own diet, I'd probably look like a bantamweight again.
You'd be 165 every year?
Yeah, seriously. But to literally, to sit down, see the photos, see the videos, and I finally have been like blown away by looking at my own photos. Like that's me up there. Like they're like, yeah, that's what you look like today. It was, man. It's just the improvements we made, the size difference, the way the muscle just carried itself. I think one of the first times ever in my history that I've been happy with my look. But I know that can be and will be better going forward. So.
You guys looked awesome on stage, man. I almost felt like the lighting was better for the 212 and then they like changed for the open. I don't know if they it was really weird. I thought the 212 guys had like better lighting, but it's exactly the same stage. So it makes no sense. Yeah. So I don't know what that, maybe you guys were just all harder.
I've heard that. I mean, I heard us 212 guys. Well, I think we all have to make that weight category. Well, I make that weight in the off season, but I think when they're forced to make that weight class, these guys are going to come in condition, hopefully. So,
who do you think it hurts the most?
As far as
making weight,
competitor-wise?
Yeah,
I think Derek Lunsford really struggled to make that weight class, man, because I think he turned pro at close to almost a 212 class. No, I think it was something like that.
He's a heavyweight, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's one of those guys. I mean, he looks amazing at 225, 230. And I think him have to suck down another 10, 12 pounds, I think really eats him up a little bit.
Right. You think he'd maybe do better just going open?
I mean, everyone's saying the same thing. I think he's an open competitor. And he's taller as well, So I think I've said it. I mean, this 212 class is made for shorter guys, man. I think like us 5'5", 5'4" under guys. Anyone over that, you're dealing with a shorter, more compact guys. Myself, Ashkenani, Angel, we're all short, thick, compact, muscular guys. You got a taller guy like a George or Lunsford who are taller and squeezing down into that 212 class. I think it's harder sometimes for them to fill back out and to look as, I guess you could say, wide as us smaller guys or shorter guys.
Have you ever actually measured your waist on stage, like the day of the show?
No, I don't think I have. No, I never did.
Just curious, like what the real actual measure, because everything's an illusion, right? And
yeah.
people think waist measure a certain thing and they don't. And it would just be interesting to see what yours actually was on stage.
I should have done that. I got my suit tailored when I was there, so I should have had him check that. I don't know why I didn't have him check it.
It's tiny anyways. The smallest one up there.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that, man. Again,
right?
I don't know the packet what looks like until it's all said and done.
Yeah. What's your favorite shot of you? Your favorite shot from this year's show?
I would say my most muscular. It's the hands clasped in the front, the most muscular that way. or my front double actually too, because I know many of you guys may have seen it. I actually worked with Kai Greene this year with posing, and
Yeah.
so a lot of my front double bicep comes from Kai in regards to the leg placement.
Right.
So really turning my leg a certain way and really showing the quad in this leg and making sure this leg is a certain way to show off this. I think that front double this year was probably again, very much improved. I was obviously able to make my legs look a lot bigger. And by doing that, I was able to make my waist come in a little bit smaller. Obviously the lats flare out more. So, working with Kai this year has really helped my posing and also helped me mentally with being able to go out there and kind of hone in on my posing and to kind of make sure everything was locked in from top to bottom. He's a stickler, obviously, for posing. That's Kai Greene. That's his thing. And when I worked with him, it was literally 2 hours of him drilling me, more so on the foot placement and feeling things.
Everything starts from the floor up.
Yeah, it was more so that stuff than just hitting the shots. It's like you need to feel this first before you move into that shot, type of thing. And every time I see him, it's constant reminder, like, let's go over this shot again. Let's see what it looks like. Make sure your foot placement's there. And again, posing's everything. You can be the biggest guy on stage, but if you can't show that muscle off, man, it's absolutely pointless.
How did you get hooked up with Kai Greene, and what's your relationship with Kai like? Like, did you know him really well before?
I've always known Kai. Whenever I see him at a show or, an appearance, it was always mutual respect. He knew who I was. Kai and I obviously came from the same federation years ago, the WNBF. Back then, he was WF Pro. I was as well. So we've always known each other. But recently, he's been training at my gym a lot more often. And I remember him coming up to me and kind of we just started talking more and more every single weekend. And then one day I said, hey, Kai, you mind taking a look at me and kind of just help me with my posing? And he said, sure, without question. We exchanged numbers. And so we hooked up the one day and we went through 2 hours of posing, and I was able to get it on film for my YouTube, which I have posted as well. And again, we just kept in contact from there on out. He'll text me just randomly sometimes in the morning just to check on me, see how I'm doing, see how I'm feeling. And again, he was definitely a big motivator this year, along with Victor Martinez, who I trained with this year. So I had a lot of good people in my corner this year, really, really rooting for me, man, and it definitely helped.
What other names that people might know do you feel were like really, really rooting for you and in contact with you a lot and helping you out?
Victor Martinez, Kai Greene, Victor Munoz, who is Victor's
trainer for years and years.
Yeah. I actually, one day I was in the gym and Busta Rhymes was there.
Yeah.
And he's surprising to me. He knew who I was and he's followed me and he pretty much said he's a fan and was wishing me luck for the Olympia. Dexter Jackson, obviously one of my really good friends who I keep in contact regularly. Sean Ray is another guy who I keep in contact regularly. He's been helping me out with things. So again, I've been doing this 16 years, and over the years, I've always been that neutral guy. I never kind of got into, picking sides or getting into gossip and all that negative stuff. I kind of just stayed neutral to everything. And by doing that, I was able to build some great relationships.
Yeah.
And have these people in my corner if I ever needed to reach out to them or call, like Dexter. Hey, Dexter, I have a question for you. Or Dennis James. Same thing with Dennis, man. I talked to him the last week, and we were kind of talking about some things, and he kind of helped me out. And so, again, I have some people I can reach out to any given time of the day.
What's the last thing Matt said to you before you went out on stage, and what's the first thing he said when you came off?
Last thing he said to me, it's your time. It's your time. And as soon as I get off stage, he said, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah, it's funny how you remember those.
Yeah, I mean, I did a story today, or a post today, and me and Matt have been talking about this for the past 3 or 4 years. I made him a promise I told him I want to be his first Olympia title holder. And I know that's something he's been wanting for several years now, since he began coaching. And I know that he and Dallas had that plan, and obviously we lost Dallas, unfortunately, a couple years ago. And after that, that's when I said, hey, you know what, we're gonna make this happen, and obviously we're gonna win a title for him. He deserves it, and we stayed true to that. And it took a couple years, but we finally were able to, make the improvements needed to finally be in the mix to win a title. Again, this year, he really stayed on top of me this year. And with him being there literally every single minute on the minute, making changes, seeing my body, Matt gets so emotionally involved with his clients, not just me, not just top guys. He gets involved with all his clients, and it's like he's on stage with us. So he's very invested. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, the hell's that?
Oh, need your camera back.
Oh, wait.
There we go.
Guys.
Oh, lost you again. There we go.
Good. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
He was. Like I said, I told Matt I want to be his first title holder, and we made it happen. He actually texted me a week before the show because he just moved to Florida and he was setting up his office, and he sent me a picture of a blank wall. And I go,
yeah.
What the hell is that?
I saw that.
And he said, "This is where the Olympia pitch is going to be." And now that the Olympia is said and done, we have the photo chosen. He has the photo he wants, and that's where it's going to go.
Which picture is he using?
It's Whitman. Whitman is a classic.
Oh, yeah.
His shots are phenomenal.
Well, he's an artist.
Exactly.
He's not just a stage photographer.
No, he hits some shots that I've never seen before, man. You just can't. You can't even copy that. But it's the front double bicep where Whitman's kind of like honing in from the bottom up, and you see the Olympia medal and just perfectly.
So you got the medal on. Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. What after a big win like this, you must reflect back, and who knows how far you go. It could have been something when you were a kid or a memory you have from being a teenager, but there must be a bunch of stuff come rushing back and you think, fuck, that's a part of this.
I think for me, it was, someone asked me this earlier too. For those who saw when I said my name as the winner and I hit the floor, that classic Ronnie Coleman, hit the floor and just kind of sit there moment. It was literally, I sat there and I said, the years of just the hard work, the negativity, people saying I was too small, too short, all my friends from college making fun of me or kind of disowning me as friends, because back in college, this is when I started competing, was in college, and all my friends would ask me to go out, hang out and party, and I always said no because I had to go to the gym and train. And it got to the point where they just kind of stopped asking me and stopped hanging out with me. And I said, you know what, this is okay because it's going to be worth it one day. So when I literally hit the floor this weekend, and the tears just came out. It was, again, going back to the 16 years of the hard work, the naysayers and the people who kind of just wrote me off and counted me out. And I told myself, Shaun, this was all worth it. This moment right here, all that happened for a reason. It was for this.
Do you think you're gonna? Well, I mean, I know you're gonna, but I mean, you're gonna be getting messages in 5, 10, 15 years from people that say that this win inspired them to do what they just did 15 years from now.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Yeah, it's crazy, I mean, I remember I was that guy doing the same thing. I was that amateur kid getting ready for an amateur a local amateur show, watching Flex Lewis on the YouTube videos and seeing Flex Lewis in person and going up to him, shaking his hand, asking for his autograph, taking a picture. And you fast forward to almost 10 years now, and like you said, I'm going to be that guy now where people are, looking at my video from this weekend and saying, I want to do that because of this guy. I think a part of me is doing that for that reason, to be able to inspire and motivate people. As much as a win means a lot to me, it means more to my team, my family, and for those people, especially the lighter guys who have that dream, who have that goal of wanting to be a bodybuilder, wanting to be a pro, wanting to be an Olympia champion. And they're pretty much, are the same boat as me. People saying they're too small, too short, this and that. But the fact that I was able to do that, I'm showing these little guys like, hey, I did it. And you can damn sure do it too. And that's the reason why when Bob was talking to me after the finals, I put that message out there loud and clear. This is for you lighter guys. I turned pro. I did my first show at 118 pounds.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
People made fun of me. They laughed at me. They criticized me. They said, you're wasting your time. When I turned pro to 143 pounds, they said, your career is over. I used that negative energy and made it and used that as fuel and continue to work hard, bust my ass, and continue to believe in my efforts and in myself that if I continue to put that work in, I can one day be a good pro, make it to the Olympia stage, and be an Olympia champion. And I did that. So I want these lighter guys, shorter bantamweight, lightweights, welterweights, to know that they can be in my position one day, and one day hopefully be Olympia champion as I've done.
Man, I'm just trying to think of like the stuff that must go through your head when you wake up in the morning. Like this morning, when you open your eyes, is there like a, when you wake up and, you have one of those crazy naps and you wake up and you don't know if it's day or night?
Yeah.
Have you had like a moment where you're like, I hope this wasn't all a dream and it's still Friday morning?
It was actually, you're going to hear a funny story. So I think I slept a total of 3 hours and 4 days. So it was Sunday morning. I got a phone call from Ryan from NutriBio, my son. And he had texted me, and I kind of missed his call. So I called him back right away. I'm like, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I passed out. I missed your call. I'm sorry. He's like, bro, don't worry. You're the champ. I'm like, what? And I kind of almost forgot that I just won the show, And I'm like, wow. And I think that was one of the moments this weekend, like shit, I did it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's so surreal. It hasn't hit me yet, and Flex told me it's going to take some time before it really, really hits me. I can look at the trophy and the medal all day long, but until it really hits me, it's just a moment I have to just wait for it.
How did you get in the cockpit of the flight home? I saw that photo. Because they're pretty tight with security now. I mean, they got to know who you are.
Well, it's funny because my girlfriend and I was sitting waiting to board, and some lady just walks up and she sees the check and she's reading it. She's like, "Oh, is that for you?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, you're a bodybuilder," and gave her my name. And come to find out, she's actually a pilot. So she was actually getting on my flight to go to Newark because she's gonna fly another plane. So When she gets on the plane ahead of me, I guess she gives the team a heads up, like, "Hey, we have Mr. Olympia about the board," And as soon as I walk on, they stop me right away and they say, "Hey, we want to meet you. We want to take pictures, and the pilot wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Absolutely." So I was like, "Hey, you guys mind if I take a picture with the pilot, like kind of at the door area?" And the pilot is like, "No, I could do you better. I want you to sit in my seat."
Yeah.
So he literally came out of the cockpit, had me go sit in his seat, and that's when I held the medal and the check up and took a photo for that. And then when I finally sat in my seat, got all buckled up, ready to take off, they actually put on the announcement or the loudspeaker. Just want to let everyone know we have Mr. Olympia Shaun Clarida on the flight today. He just won the show, and everyone's clapping on the plane. So
Plus, the plane's probably half bodybuilding fans leaving to go home.
Probably, man, right? Yeah.
I know how those flights home from shows are. It's like,
yeah, right? It's all meatheads.
all meatheads. Half of them are hungover.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for watching another podcast here at Think Big Bodybuilding Media. And thank you to our great sponsor, TrueNutrition.com, for making this all possible. TrueNutrition.com is owned by Dante Trudell, the creator of DC Training. He wanted to create a supplement company that offered high-quality, third-party tested supplements at a fair price. High-quality protein powders, just about every type you could think of. Huge variety of flavors, plus health and performance supplements. Check them out, TrueNutrition.com. And hey, if you use our code ADVICES, you directly support our podcasting. Thanks, guys. Let's get back to the program.
So I got a bunch of great questions from fans. I want to hit some of these. So first one, what's Sean's favorite hoodie?
Oh, yeah. What do you mean, my hoodie? Like what? Like my own stuff? You mean, or
You must have one that's your favorite hoodie.
My No Plan B hoodies, of course.
No Plan B hoodie. Okay.
That's my brand. That's my motto all year long. If you guys follow along, I've always hashtag No Plan B. There was always one goal, one mission, and we weren't gonna give that up.
What now? I mean, shit, you might have not been able to pay fucking any attention, but what was your thought on the Open? How do you feel about the Open?
I think it went very well. I absolutely had Big Ronnie winning it. And a quick funny story. So Wednesday night was my last training session, and we were at, I think it was Kissing Me Muscle Gym. And it was late. There was only 2 guys left training at night. It was me, and it was Big Ronnie. And my coach goes to both of us like, I guarantee you it's going to be you in the 212 and your Big Ron winning the Open come Friday. And that's how it played out.
That's funny. The last two guys in the gym.
Yep, last two guys in the gym training.
It's like a metaphor for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else happen this weekend that, I mean, obviously the win is taking it all, but there must be some other moments where you're like, fuck, I got to make sure I don't forget that one too.
Oh, man. I mean, there were a lot of amazing moments, man. I mean, I got to meet Shaq again, and
oh yeah,
Shaq is absolutely ginormous.
It's unbelievable, eh?
It's surreal, Ron, how big that man is in person.
Yeah,
like, I have to break my neck just to look in his eye, almost, just to see it. But that was a great moment as well, and just the whole weekend, man. Just going to the biggest thing I think is going to the finals for the Open as a champ. As the 212 champ, wearing the medal there with my suit and everything, and people stopping me and take photos and take pictures and just talking. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Where were you sitting for the finals?
We were moving around a lot. We were backstage a lot for the most part, just talking to the guys. But we got some fairly good seats.
What did you think of the return of Phil?
I was happy to see him back, obviously. I don't think he was still at 100%, unfortunately. I think Phil was maybe about 85, 90%, give or take. But again, he's still got the classic 3D muscle, nice and full and round. I just think that midsection for him was, I think, still an issue. Had it been the same classic Phil, it would have been lights out for everyone. But I think Ronnie has dramatically improved his conditioning and more so his posing and confidence on stage. And this dude is just so much muscle. I mean, you don't understand. You guys see the videos and the pictures, but to see it up close in person, absurd, Ron. Absurd.
He guest posed October of last year, so it was after the Olympia. He guest posed up here, and I emceed the show, so I got the old side view, of the whole guest posing.
Yeah.
And he told me he weighed 340.
Oh my
god. And when he turned around to hit his back double, of course, I'm old, so I'm looking for the big tortoise shell, right? The guys in the 90s when they'd arch back and hit the shot and the belly would just distend out from the side. And I just couldn't believe there wasn't anything going on. Yeah. He had no distension at 340. And then when he hit his crab shot and bent over, his abs stayed flat. And I just thought, that's fucked. It's like, because at 340, no one else has a tight midsection. It's full of food and they're huffing and puffing and you can see the muffins and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And afterwards I remember thinking he's got to win. He's got to win soon. But and then he did the Arnold and was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
Wasn't he third?
Something like that, third or fourth. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you just kind of think, well, maybe it's not going to happen for him.
Yeah.
And then it was something else, man.
And people gave him a hard time because he got the special invite. Because obviously he couldn't do it. He had COVID and he showed that he wanted to do it, cancel. So people were kind of writing him off oh, he's got a special invite. He's not going to deliver. And boy, were they wrong. he delivered and some.
Yeah, no doubt. What about the Classic? Did you see any of the Classic guys?
I watched the finals, and I was very impressed by, the top 3, top 4 guys. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm a big Breon fan, and I did not see that coming. I did not see him placing third. But again, Terrence Ruffin is one of those guys like myself, just consistently just gets better and better every year. I would say probably one of the best posers in the entire, not just the league. I mean, not just the division, but the entire league.
Yeah.
I think that could have sealed the deal right there to why he placed where he placed.
You have to give Terrence credit because it looked to me like Terrence worked his way into the top 3 at the prejudging.
Exactly.
Barely, just made the top 3 and they sent them back. And he's like, I'm in the top 3. And then he comes back for the finals and he grinds up one more spot.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And I agree it was a close. I didn't see it coming either.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, when I sort of revisited everything, I was like, okay, that's like Terrence fucking worked
Absolutely.
it, you know?
Absolutely.
And, it's funny how you view shows in real time versus hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a guy you kind of missed. You go back and look at the top six, you're like, oh, fuck, that guy looked awesome. I was
Yep.
busy paying attention to this dude,
Of course. Because
I,
going to the show, it was Breon versus Bumstead, and kind of everyone else is fighting for third and fourth. But you always gotta look at that. Same thing in my situation. Let's go back to me. It's like everyone's saying Kamal versus Lunsford, and
Right.
everyone's kind of forgetting about that third place guy who's just as eager, just as hungry, if not hungrier, to knock these guys off. And Terrence exactly was that guy who obviously placed in second after Arnold. Knew that he was capable of being in the mix, which he was. And I've watched him all year. I mean, between the training and the posing he's done, this guy is on the money, man. And he's absolutely meant for his division. And placing second to Bumstead, man, another year or two of training, who knows?
Yeah. What do you think of Chris?
Very much. I was very, very impressed at his improvements, especially toward his back. Wow, I credit to him. I mean, he definitely, I think, deserved it. Again, I think for me, the improvements he made from last year to this year, you couldn't even discredit that, man. He looked phenomenal.
I was happy with the Olympia this year because we saw several people make big improvements.
Exactly.
You obviously being one of them. But we've all been to those Olympias and seen those Olympias where everyone kind of comes back looking kind of the same as the year before, and it's just kind of another like jumble of the same top 5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see a champion or a contender like you come back with like Chris comes back with a new back.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, that's what separates champions, because he could have just been content with just showing up saying, I'm the champ. This is good enough. But he just, I guess I'm going to say that he went back home, assessed his physique, and said that he could be better, and put together a game plan and came back better this year. And really sealed the deal. But again, there's not taking anything for Breon as well. Breon was hungry this year, man.
Oh man, he looked good.
I love his physique. I think it's one of the best ever. I love watching everything about Breon. And again, it's just, the judges, I mean, they're both improved, but the judges went with, I guess, who made the most improvements this year.
Yeah, and tight classes too, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, you were 1 point, right? Didn't you win by 1 point?
I was second place going into the finals.
Yep.
I won the show at the finals at 1 point.
So you changed 2 judges' minds. That's what I mathed out because I looked at the numbers.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
you were technically behind by 1.
Yep.
And then you gained 2 points, which means you changed 2 judges' minds. Do you know whose you changed?
No idea. But I wish I did.
Christmas cards.
Yeah,
You still got a few days. Still got to bake some cookies and FedEx them out.
No, I wish I knew, but they don't tell you that, obviously. But yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you could twist. I'm sure you could make some calls. Just call them.
Yeah.
Just call them out.
Just want to know where you had me.
I want to know it. You had me. Oh man. So now, what about, you're looking ahead now. Obviously, Christmas is here and stuff like that. Are you going to be able to are you one of the people who gets to have a bit of a Christmas? A lot of people can't visit their families, can't travel and all that. But, I mean, is everyone kind of there?
Yeah, my family's here. So we're actually going to have Christmas at my house. And because we haven't had any celebration, no birthdays, no Thanksgiving because of the prep, we're absolutely going to be eating and enjoying this holiday and the whole entire win and everything. So my family will be here for sure. But come January 2nd, man, we're right back to work.
Right back to work.
Yeah.
When does prep start? Tomorrow.
Yeah, right. It starts January 2nd, to be honest.
Yeah, January 2nd, yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about this time of year for the O?
I don't know, man. I mean...
you want to go back to September?
I guess I'm so used to being in September. But now that it has come and gone from December, I think that it would only be good to have it again in December, just where we have that full time to prepare.
Right. You get 3 months shaved off your year.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully if they do decide to have it in December, it will be closer to the beginning of December. This way we don't have to have it so close to the holiday. I'm going to say maybe the first or second week of December 2021 is when they're going to have it, and I believe it will be in Orlando.
You think they're going to repeat
Yes.
the show, eh?
Yes.
Interesting. What's the expo? Did they have they had a bit of an expo, right?
It was, I guess they call it a pavilion. They had
Right.
a few vendors that were there that were main sponsors. They had tables set up. They were passing out samples and, paper stuff, but it wasn't anything like what we're used to.
Yeah. No, what about the number of people there? Was it like it looked like a much smaller, it was in a much smaller theater. So, but did that make it more like kind of an intimate, it's like seeing a really good band in a pub.
Yeah.
You like get to see the band like up close. Like, was it kind of better, you think?
I think it was good, actually. I mean, everyone's kind of right there, and there wasn't a bad seat in the house.
Yeah.
It had like so many monitors set up, and I think they did an amazing job of what they had. I mean, again, there was no like regulation as far as seats, mapped out here and there. I mean, it was yeah, they just went all out.
There was a few jokes. I saw a couple memes like, everybody coming home for the Olympia with COVID.
Hopefully not.
We Emily and I were watching the live stream, and when Rami won, he was like kiss Phil on the forehead. He was like, because he's Rami, right? He's like grabbing people and like kissing them.
Yeah.
And we were just joking around. We were like, COVID for you, and some COVID for you, and some COVID for you. And we thought, oh man, let's see what happens. Did you spend any time this year? Like, were you concerned about getting COVID? Were you like being extra careful, or are you just kind of doing the standard diligence?
Yeah, I just trained. I kind of stayed. I didn't be around too many people. I kind of just kept in the gym. I wiped out all my equipment and everything. I didn't really go out to visit family, especially my mom, because I had been training in the gym. I kind of didn't want to be around her with the illness and everything. But at the same time, I didn't want to live my life like that either, Ron. Like. Some people are just like, I don't leave my bubble. Like you can't, you gotta sometimes just kind of go through it. I mean, it's a germ that you kind of almost have to take in to be able to fight it. I feel like sometimes, Yeah.
And there's only a certain amount of your mental energy you can direct towards that stuff, just like anything.
Exactly.
What do you think the biggest lesson for you is, or the biggest thing you learned coming out of 2020?
I mean, it was just a struggle, man. You make it through this, you can make it through anything. I mean, it's not just for me, just for anyone, especially again those competitors that were able to make it to the stage. It just showed you how determined we all were, And it's not to discredit the people who didn't do a show or weren't able to do a show. I totally understand that. But again, just to be able to make it a way to train and still be able to get your food in and get your meals in, and it was a struggle for everyone, man, and we all were able to make it and come out on top the way we did. Just a matter of just almost like just being determined. That was it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, put your head down, mind your own business, focus on you.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I don't do. Like I've said this many times, and you know me, Ron. I'm that quiet guy. I don't post progress pictures. I don't talk about any of my competitors. I don't even know what my competitors look like in the off season or even getting ready for a contest. I train in baggy sweatpants and baggy shirts all year long. And people kind of say, why do you do that? It's like, well, one, I'm comfortable training this way. The reason why I don't put up progress pictures is because they're just that. They're progress photos. They're not going to tell you the end result. And people say, what do you think about that guy or this guy? It's like, I don't worry about that guy. I don't focus my energy on what they look like, what they're doing, because me taking 2 or 3 seconds out of my day to focus on that takes that time away from me, and that can't happen. So
one of my favorite quotes, I don't know if someone originally said it, but Mike Menser used to say it. And it was, if you want to lead the orchestra, you have to turn your back to the crowd. And I always used to remember that quote whenever it came to these guys are doing this type of training and these guys are trying this and this new peptide is out and this new thing and this new that. Anytime anything was like popular because it was new, I almost was instantly repelled by it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to go wait. I'm going to go see. I'll give these guys a few years to do this new thing. And then almost 99% of the time, it's like, it doesn't make a difference.
Right. Yeah. I just stick to what, I mean, there's always going to be some new way of training. I mean, listen, training is training. That's it. I stick to the old school Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman style of training. Give me a barbell and some dumbbells and I'm good. Yeah, there are certain, like I work with John Meadows, obviously, when it comes to my training. But it's more so, different rep schemes or things like that. There's no new funky inventions. There's no new funky machines. Again, I see these guys like, I'm trying this new program and it has X, Y. Like, I'm not doing all that. It takes you 15 minutes just to set the equipment up. By the time you're doing that, you could have been doing just 3 or 4 sets.
Yeah, and you're in a busy gym and you got 2 benches and 3 cables and
man,
I know.
I see it every day. These guys have the dumbbells set up and the plates and the bar. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Just grab the bar and just go row it. Go press it. That's it.
Yeah. I saw a great, it was on one of Bumstead's photos of his back. And someone wrote, what exercises was he doing? And Iain Valliere, obviously who coaches him, came on and he said, execution and intensity are all we care about. Exercise selection is completely secondary.
Absolutely. You pick the movements that work best for your physique and you try to get stronger at them each and every week going forward. And that's what's going to hone in on progress and new growth. So
here we are back to progressive overload.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We try to do an episode where it doesn't come up. Like Dusty's always talking about DC and I did the Dorian style training my whole life. And we try to have an episode where we just don't talk about it. And then it always comes up.
That's it. It works, man. That's it.
So when was your strength at its all-time highest this year?
Probably I would say, obviously off season was at my absolute best. But once for me, I'm one of those guys that kind of grows into the stroke and gets stronger. So I would say, 10, 12 weeks out, man, I'm just getting stronger and stronger. I was doing 405 on the incline bench. I don't know if you guys saw that. I was 10 weeks out from this year's Olympia. I think just me being in that mindset and having a set schedule with having this meal at this time and taking this at this time, having that set schedule just makes me stronger. And obviously, as we're getting closer to like that 4 week out, that's when things kind of start dwindling down a little bit, where I'm a little bit more cautious about my exercise selection, but I'm still doing the basic movements.
Yeah.
I'm still dumbbell pressing. I'm still incline pressing. Not as strong, but at that point in time, I'm just trying to obviously remain safe.
Yeah, and it's all about intensity. So it's just, you might slow the dumbbells down and all that, but you're still just going to failure on a lot of your working sets, right?
Failures. We're doing drop sets at that point in time. We're doing back off sets. But again, we're still keeping that same intensity, just going all out, using those free motion movements.
Have you ever been? I was wondering this about you because I know you're like very strong for your body weight. Have you ever pressed dumbbells? Have you ever had your body weight and the dumbbells you're using be the same? Like, have you ever been like 165 pressing 165s? Have you ever seen that match up? Because I know you're kind of close.
I've rode 200-pound dumbbells.
Right.
So
yeah.
I've rode 200-pound dumbbells. I've squatted 515 for reps.
Yeah.
I incline barbell 405. The most I think I've dumbbell pressed flat bench was, I think it's 160s. I was around 190 at the time.
Right. Okay. I was just wondering how dieted down you got with those 160s,
Yeah, it's close.
Because some of the ratios on your lifts. I mean, we've said before, I think you're pound for pound the strongest bodybuilder in the world.
Yeah, I think so. Again, like I said,
which is cool because it's not like that's on your fridge as a goal, is it?
No,
yeah.
never. It just happens to be that way.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's a byproduct.
I don't look to say, hey, I want to be able to lift this much weight. If I do 365 this week for 8 to 10 reps, I'm going to try, go for 405 this week. And I don't really care about being the strongest guy per se. It just happens to be that way.
Yeah. Who's the strongest training partner you've ever had? Like real training partner where you like train together for a while.
I've never really trained with anybody. I train my girlfriend every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've trained with her for the last 6 years.
Oh, so she's right in it all the time with you.
Yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning doing cardio with me.
So she's the one filming all the clips?
Exactly.
Oh man, okay. So tell us about that. Tell us about that.
So we obviously been dating 6 years now, and she's not a competitor by any means. But when I met her, she was in the gym training, just a regular, trying to lose weight. And I give credit to her because she was overweight at one point in time in her life, and obviously for health reasons, she had to start training and doing cardio, and that's kind of how we met. And she lost over 160 pounds by herself.
Wow. Yeah.
So when we met, we were friends at first, and I just had asked her one day to, I think, spot me or something, maybe. And she had spotted me, and I asked her, hey, you want me to put you through a leg workout one day? And she said, yes. I put her through a leg workout, and from that day on, the fact that I saw her, one, I saw her intensity, and two, that she made it through the actual workout, I said, fuck this, we're just going to go full force with this together. And we started dating, and then from there on out, we've been training every single day for the past 6 years.
I like how your dating standard was a leg workout.
It's gotta be. If you
it's
can't
like,
make legs,
yeah, she's all right, but I don't know if she can squat. Like, I don't know if she can go to failure on the leg press. We're gonna do some strip sets, see if she gets date number 2.
I'm not gonna lie, I tried to kill her, and she made it through. I did try.
So what's her take? What's her take on this? Is she one of those like super calm, like, oh, I know you could do it, baby? Or is she just an emotional fucking wreck when you come off stage and it's like...
Well, first of all, she's a hard ass. If I look like shit, she's going to say, you look like shit. She's not going to blow smoke up my ass. She wants me to be my absolute best at all times. So she's very supportive in that matter. She takes all my progress pictures every single day when she can, obviously. But when it's showtime, man, she's business, just like I am. But when I'm on stage, she's a fucking wreck. I mean, crying, can't watch. I think
hates the whole day. The whole day is just misery.
Oh yeah, and she literally. I watched her at the finals, and I looked at her. Her head was down the whole time. Like, what are you doing? You should be looking at me. Well, she just couldn't. She couldn't handle it at that point in time.
Man. So is she all smiles around the house now?
Yeah, she's actually right here. She's happy though. She's happy as hell, and she's probably getting more text messages than I am, congratulating us on the win.
Well, I want to congratulate her too on the win. I mean, it's I've enjoyed meeting her over the years. You brought her past the mutant booth to say hi to us.
Yeah, you better.
And I always love running into you guys. You're a great couple.
Thank
you. So I know that it takes it's not just one guy.
No, it's an entire team, man.
What about Meadows? What's Meadows have to say? You talked to him a few times since then, or what?
Oh yeah, we talked obviously throughout the whole entire prep. I sent the photos every so often, and honestly, he told me weeks ago it's gonna come down between me and Kamal. He was that confident, just based on the progress pictures I was sending him, that it would be between me and Kamal.
I can hear his voice too. I can hear the way he would say it.
Yeah, and he came up to me after the prejudging and he said, "Man, I told you." He said, "This is yours." He was very confident that what we had brought was good enough to win, and obviously he was right, and he was ecstatic by it. And I give credit to John. I've been working with him now for 6 years with my training programs, and every year we come up with a new program for the off season to put on size, and then we'll start a new program for prep. So the combination of the training and the nutrition from Matt, man, it's just I got the killer team, man.
What else do you see yourself? Let's step away from, the actual bodybuilding competitions. What else do you see yourself doing in the future? Is there anything that you as a champion, like Jay said that as Mr. Olympia, he was brewing ideas.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then once he won the Olympia, he said the ideas really started coming to him. And like obviously you feel like, oh shit, I'm here,
Yeah.
What other things do you think you're like, shit, I think I want to do that. I think I'm going to want to do that. You have anything?
Well, before this Olympia, my girlfriend and I have already discussed some ideas, and we've already kind of put the wheels in motion. We are going to do some business things soon. There's some business opportunities that have been presented to me that I'm definitely going to be moving forward with. Obviously, I will put that out as soon as things are more confirmed. But as far as the business side of bodybuilding, like Fleck is saying, this is the time to really do the business of bodybuilding, as we call it. The traveling, the training, the more content, seminars, guest appearances. Kamal obviously was unable to do that, or many of us were unable to do that this year with COVID. But hopefully now that the country is somewhat opening up, we definitely will plan on doing some traveling. Again, I really want to get out there, man, and really put the 212 class back on the map. I know a lot of people are saying it's dwindling down, and I want to be able to show and say that it's not. We're just as strong as ever, and I definitely plan on doing some more gym tours. I want to travel the country along with my coach, and kind of replicate what Aceto and Sean Roden did almost with the whole gym tour setup, things like that.
Right.
So we've got some great ideas, man, and obviously the merchandise is going to be a big thing for us. I'm getting messages left and right, people wanting the new merchandise, what you're going to be doing. So this is the time where we really start taking advantage of that period where things are still hot and things are still trending to really focus on that.
Yeah, I got a real open-ended question for you.
Okay.
What's the meaning of life?
Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy, man. You'll have one life, and the one thing you don't want to do is regret anything. I never want to regret anything, Ron. I want to be able to say that I've done everything I wanted to do. If I hadn't made it, at least I can say I tried. I never want to say, well, I wish I could have, should have thing. That's one thing I never do. I like to take big chance, big risk. And obviously bodybuilding is one of those things I took a chance on. 16 years ago, I had no idea where this would be. But I took that chance. I was wrestling for a D1 program. I was going to be the starter at Ronnie University for a wrestling program. It was my spot, and I had it. Bodybuilding came along, man, and I had a choice to make. Was I going to stick with this wrestling program and be the starter, or was I going to take a chance with this bodybuilding thing, not knowing where the hell it was going to take me or lead me? I had a gut feeling, and I said, you know what? We're going to give this bodybuilding thing a try. And again, not knowing where it was going to be, I took the chance, and I can look back now and say everything I did, every decision I made from there on out has been absolutely worth it, because had I stuck with that wrestling, man, I probably wouldn't be doing this right now, to be honest with you. It was a very small period of time where I had people in my corner back then that were willing to help me get started in this sport. And that's the meaning of life, man. Whatever makes you happy, go out there and do it. Don't live life with regrets.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks for everything, man. I'm so happy for you. I didn't, when I was standing there watching you, I thought, well, fuck, he looks like a little Ronnie / Flex.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also was like, just years of being a jaded old competitor, where I'm like, well, Kamal's improved and he's a champ, so they probably won't title change. Like, that's just, the old, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Because we've seen that before where we thought it should have been changed, but it was like, wasn't enough of a knockout.
Right.
Got to knock the champ out. You can't just beat the champ. And I thought, well, fuck, maybe this is going to be one of those shows where, Kamal keeps the title and Sean's the talk of the show, sort of like Cutler in 01.
Yep.
Right? Cutler won the crowd. Ronnie took the title. And then we've seen that before. And that's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah. And then when they called you, I was like, oh man, you must just be fucking. I thought when you were down on your hands and knees, I thought he must just be on another planet.
I didn't even hear my name being called. I just heard and knew, and I lost it. I wasn't there. I was gone. It was just the year. Again, just reminiscing, just the tears, the emotions. I just lost it. Again, just thinking back to all those years, those cardio sessions, the days where I just broke down mentally and physically, the days I wanted to give up, the days I wanted to quit, the days I kept telling myself, why am I doing this? Why am I here? This is bullshit. The days that I almost wanted to quit. That moment and that very moment, everything I've done has led to this very moment to be the champ. I woke up every morning throughout this prep. This is two things I did. And I'll be completely honest with you, I did this every single day, every single morning this prep. There were two things I did. I practiced my victory speech in the mirror after cardio. And I told myself the days that it was 4 o'clock in the morning, I rolled out of bed. I was still tired. I was still sore from the night before because I had just gone to bed 3 hours before from training, that I don't want to do this, but I can be Mr. Olympia in 16 weeks, 14 weeks, 12 weeks, however, because I was telling myself every single time where I was feeling really low that all this that I'm doing now, it can pay off, and I can call myself Mr. Olympia. So those things are what got me through some prep, Ron.
It wouldn't be so cool if it wasn't so hard.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What
I think that the sooner you realize in life the importance of discipline, the better. I think some people, unfortunately, never have an opportunity or never maybe steer themselves in the direction where they have to practice their discipline at that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it's a skill set that, transforms you for business and relationships. And, and I think it's probably the most valuable thing that comes out of bodybuilding. What would you say is the most valuable thing that comes out of bodybuilding?
You have to be, this isn't for everybody. If you're not disciplined, disciplined in every aspect of the sport, meaning the diet, the training, the cardio, the mental capacity, everything, it's not for every single person. It's a very small percentage of the world that can do what we do, to put ourselves through this pain and torture to get on stage for 3 or 4 minutes and live this life the way we live. That's the main thing. If someone said, hey, pick one word when you describe bodybuilding, discipline, and every facet of what it takes to be a champion.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Bottom line.
That's it. If you can't be disciplined and you can't put yourself to the 2 or 3 hours of training and the cardio sessions and sticking to a strict diet and, being away from your family, giving up the junk food and all that, then it's not for you, and that's okay. It's not for everybody, and it's totally fine. But there are people like ourselves that are willing, that love what we do and are willing to put our bodies through what we put it through for those 2 or 3 minutes on stage, because that's our rush. That's what makes us. Yeah. That's why we live life.
Where do you think the most, well, obviously you handled it well. Where do you think the most pressure came from? Do you think it came from you?
Absolutely. Because I tell myself I can't go backwards, Ron. Meaning I just placed third last year. There's no way in hell I'm going to place anything less than third or even place third again. Every year I've done the Olympia from 2015 to now, it's been upward. My first Olympia, I was 16th. The next I was 13th. I was 9th. I was 7th. I was third last year, and this year I was first. So there's no way in hell I'm going backwards. So
it's the same story as, you were bantamweight, then you were lightweight, then you were, it's just like.
Same thing with Ronnie.
Yeah.
Last place to 13th and 9th to first. Like, it's just an upward thing. And again, I put a lot of pressure on myself that I have to do more than I did last year. What I brought last year was good, but guess what? It wasn't good enough. I didn't have the title last year. Kamal did. So I had to see why did Kamal get the title and I didn't? He was more conditioned to me. So guess what? I had to step my conditioning game up this year. I had to increase my cardio, do a lot more core work this year to match that. Why was Derek second and I was third? Derek got a killer taper. I had to train my back, get a little more width in my shoulders, my back, make my waist a little bit smaller. If I was able to do all that in this time frame, increase those and improve those body parts and bring up those weak body parts and put on size, there's no reason why I can't win the title. And I did that over this year. I made those improvements. I made those adjustments. I assessed my body from start to finish. I killed myself every single day in every single aspect to the point where I literally broke myself every single day. I slept 3 hours a night every single night for the past 21 weeks.
It's crazy.
In order to get to this point.
Did you have anything that you were able to do to sort of disconnect? Like, are you the type of guy that watches movies while you prep? Or are you unable to focus on anything?
No, I can tell you my day, Ron. I can tell you right now. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing cardio. I'm home by 5 o'clock. 5:30, I'm resting. I'm eating my first meal around 6:37, and I'm literally watching no TV the entire day. I'm getting my meals in, 3 meals, going to the gym, coming home, getting a shower, getting my last meal, I'm going to bed. I don't watch TV. I don't even talk to my girlfriend. As bad as that sounds, she understands. I'm just not there. So I don't talk to her. I don't watch TV. I don't talk to my friends. I barely talk to my family. And yeah, some people think I'm an asshole for it, and some people think I'm selfish. But yeah, we're selfish because there's a goal. And as long as my family and my girlfriend understands, I don't care. That's it. That's what matters to me.
Yeah.
So as long as they're on board with it, who cares what everyone else thinks? I'm doing it for them.
Yeah, the whole thing about the whole going into a cave for the show bodybuilding thing, I never understood why anyone, like, I mean, obviously it's unfortunate if your family doesn't understand, but I grew up a farm kid. My
Okay.
dad, my dad in the spring would go out in the field for 2 months and he'd work 18 hours a day and I wouldn't see him,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
he's just working his fucking ass off. And
Yeah.
my mom's like, don't bug him. He's getting some sleep.
Yeah.
He's eating in the field all day long. I never hardly even see him. And then there's a day where they're done and he's in the house
Exactly.
and he's like relaxing, having breakfast with us for a few months. And then it's harvest time and he's off limits.
Yep.
Don't ask your dad any questions. He's working. And so that was just normal for me. Like, oh, it's time to work. Oh, turn everything off and you go to work.
Disconnect.
And so I always just, when everyone was like, oh, my girlfriend's mad at me. I'm like, well, what if you were a lawyer and you're working a big case
Mm-hmm.
and you're 3 months of just buried in paperwork? And like, would she tell you to quit being a lawyer? Like maybe it's the money that makes a difference. I don't know. But you got that nice big check.
Yeah. Seriously.
So are you going to do something specific with that check?
That's
Like,
going to be the whole business aspect we're thinking about. That's going to be more sort toward that.
Yeah, I was thinking you're probably flying home thinking rental property. Let's do something with this, right?
Yeah. We already got that set in stone. We're gonna, obviously we're gonna hopefully take a mini vacation, hopefully soon, just to kind of disconnect a little bit before we start, kicking things into gear. But again, that money that we got is we're gonna put that, to savings. And
Yeah.
on the business side of bodybuilding, because again, obviously, this bodybuilding thing isn't gonna be around forever. We're gonna all get old eventually, and eventually I have to hang it up. So I need to start focusing more so on my future.
Yeah. It's not how much you make, it's how you spend it and invest it.
Exactly.
You come out on top, man.
Yes.
That's what I want to see. How old are you now?
38.
Awesome. You got lots of years left.
Well, I set the number high, and some people call me crazy. Some people call me delusional, but I want 9 more titles, Ron.
Fucking do it. Hey, if
9.
Iris Kyle can do it, why not you?
Exactly.
It's not like it hasn't been done before.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Right? So, well, I wish you all the best, man. Dusty couldn't make it. He had some shit. You know how Scottsdale is. It's crazy.
Yeah, right.
I think he had a manicure that went super long and he got stuck. So,
Seriously.
it's okay. I'm perfectly happy to have had you to myself because there was a lot of stuff I just really wanted to ask you, and
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure you got a forum to kind of express yourself and connect with the viewers. And you're a real guy, and you really just this was an awesome interview, man. Thanks for your time.
No,
it means a lot.
I have to thank you guys because there's only a handful of people who believed in me over the years and who really thought that I could make it, and you were one of them. Always been a friend, always gave me positive feedback, and always contributed to my growth. So I thank you guys. Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I've always believed that you were like one of the most unique, standout guys I've ever met in the industry.
Thank you.
That has stuff that nobody else has, whether it be here or physical. And there's an industry where there's a lot of kind of carbon copy people that kind of all come across the same, and at the end of the day don't bring what you bring. So I really appreciate it, and thanks for coming on the show. You make it look like I got some street cred.
Yeah, you definitely do. I think you got the first interview, man. So
Well, it's nice. Thank you. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it.
all right, Ron, anytime, man, you need me. Thanks again.
Okay, you bet. Thanks, man. And remember, everybody, it's just bodybuilding. Like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell. And I appreciate your feedback, and let us know what you think of the Clarida interview. Hit him up, buy his hoodies, buy his merch, support the shit out of him. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Ron. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. So just as I'm letting Sean go, Dusty's back from his manicure and he pops in. You had a bit of a delay this morning, Dusty, but it looks like you're here.
Here's the thing. I didn't want to water down a moment with a champion. I tend to be a little talky, a little laughy. I said, I should probably bow out a little bit, let the important ones speak, and go get stabbed with some needles. So I did that.
You put a lot of pressure on me, so I hope I carried the show. I didn't have you because normally whenever I hit that moment where I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to ask next, I give you the old.
See, but that's how I felt about it. I was like, you know what? What I typically do is slide in, and when it gets awkward, I take it way worse. I should probably just step out of this one, let him run it.
Well, we had a
And
great
go
chat.
from
We had a
there.
great chat.
I'm a little. You know what though? I have a reason to watch the show now. I wasn't here.
Hey, you actually have to watch this one now. For those of you who don't know, Dusty does not ever watch the show. I watch it kind of lightly. I put it on in the background while I'm making breakfast because I just want to see if there's anything I missed. I usually forget. I'm like, oh, we talked about that,
Yeah.
And I kind of pay attention to the editing a little bit, like the Hulk Hogan leg drop in that one episode was nice.
Which wasn't.
Yeah. But now you have to watch it.
Yeah, I got no choice now because it's not about me. You know how it is. I like to just scroll the comments, and I'm like, good point. I suck at that.
Yeah.
And then I leave it alone and don't fix anything.
So continue being me.
Yeah, but I like to know what they don't like and then ignore it. So that's the key.
These people don't like the way I am. That's just weird.
But I do have some freaking questions. So I figured now that you've closed out the show, let me jump in, force you back in to finish at 2 hours because I'm all about the people and their cardio sessions.
No worries. Let's do it up. Let's do some questions, Dusty.
Absolutely. Now, there's some good stuff here. Oh, boy. You versus Ron. Who wins in a vertical and standing long jump? And will you record it? I would absolutely record that embarrassment. That would be fantastic.
Oh, I think I'd beat you right now.
I think you would beat me always. I haven't been an athlete in 100 years.
No, I know, but you're a very powerful guy. Back when I was heavy with the body weight, it would have been difficult. But I have been doing a little bit of box jumping.
You have?
Like low, not much. Just so the height of the peg on my bike?
Yes.
Right. It's a 20-inch wheel, so it's a 10-inch drop, right?
So
I've been doing
on that.
Yeah, like just practicing because that's as high as I am right now. I'm coming off of it. What's it like to hop off? Land on one foot, be stable, hop back on, hop off, land on one foot,
That's actually funny because when you're at this level of non-athleticism, I'd be like, I could hurt myself.
Yeah, I started with this.
I literally would. I just told someone that the other day because they were like, what is an inconvenience to being your size? I'm like, anything. Like the other day I was going, my friends were coming off of a loading dock and they all jump off. And I looked down and I was like, that's probably not safe. I sat on the edge and did
turned around, lowered it down, did like a reverse dip down to the ground.
We got to keep this safe because if not, this is going to be a story of how Dusty fucked himself up.
Do I tear a tricep or a quad? How do I lower myself off this deck?
What are the best odds for the least bad injury? But I mean, literally, that's true. When you were at your heaviest, you look at everything, you're like,
oh, yeah.
That's not smart.
No, like just, someone you're walking with a group of people and they all just kind of hop down something. Like even if you're like, it's going to walk down this ramp.
I'm going to take 100-yard detour, but I'm not jumping off that 3-foot thing.
Why do you always walk on the wheelchair ramp, Ron?
I just hit him with, look, I'm just trying to keep it tight.
Yes.
A little extra cardio never hurt nobody.
Steps. Get the steps.
Dude, I'm just going to roll here because I got lots.
Go for it. I don't have any. Mine were all for Sean, so I'm done.
See, I went selfish. I was like, ask Ron. Do you think Iain has a potential to get into the top 3 Olympia territory?
Well, I mean, I'd have to say yes. I see Iain as still plenty of muscle to add because of his age and how his body seems to be responding.
Mm-hmm.
And, I heard someone say, he's got no calves, but Dennis Wolf didn't either. So whatever.
That's the dumbest comment anyways.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then, I have no calves. Look how happy and successful I am.
I think, you guys are the same, you and Iain. It's like twins.
So, he's got so much going for him. I think he does have what it takes to be. I think and this is no knock against anyone because we have a lot of talent in Canada right now, but Iain is, and he just proved it this weekend. He is the premier Canadian bodybuilder on the planet.
For sure.
And it wasn't just that show, that placing, but it was, he is. He's ahead. He's got more muscle, got more density, got more thickness, got more in the side shots, more in the back shots, more in the front shots. Plus I'm just a fan of the guy. I mean, if you know Iain Valliere, he's like just a great guy, And you want to see that for him. I'd love to see him crack the top 3 one day.
Is Iain already?
And he gets better as he adds muscle. You know how like structural.
Yeah, all that does is makes his look better. Yeah, I agree.
The bigger he gets, the better he looks.
Well, his shoulder, I don't think people realize his clavicles are Jay Cutler wide.
Oh, he's a very big guy. Very big guy. Like when he's walking around the gym with a pump on, it's like big wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen all the biggest guys in the gym. You know, I remember when they were here for the Van Pro, Nathan Diasha was in the gym.
Yep.
Right? Hottie was in the gym. You know, they were all in the gym. And Valliere was the biggest guy in the fucking gym.
Yeah, no, for sure. I always find that with some guys. People don't realize who is big. Like another one is John De La Rosa. He's giant. People just don't realize it because he's shorter. He's a monster.
The circumference on his limbs and the calves and everything. Yeah.
So do you think, this is my stretch on that question now, Iain this weekend, is he the best Canadian bodybuilder ever? Is he as good as Fouad as he is at his peak? Is he as good as Ben at his peak or not yet?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. And I mean, you don't want to shit on Fouad I still think Fouad produced some of the best looks ever of a Canadian bodybuilder. Like, I don't know. I think it was the year Fouad won that Tampa show. And then he had that other show that he did with Dennis James where he was skinned alive. And then
he had a Flex Pro one year that he was wacky.
Yeah.
He was lighter, but he was. I was at that show and he was nuts. I think Evan might have won that, and it was like Evan, Dexter, Dennis Wolf, and Fouad or something like crazy.
Yeah. I think that the best Canadian physique, and then also too, you have to remember Paul Dillett is Canadian.
That's a valid point.
So when you go to the 90s and you got, 6'2", 275-pound Paul Dillett, I know he had, he didn't have the best back and he was a terrible poser and all the criticisms of him, but standing in those quarter turns at the Olympia, making the top 6 at the back when it was like all heat.
That's a prime lineup to be in the top 6 of.
Yeah, so it's hard. I wouldn't say he's the best Canadian ever, but he's got the time and he's got the room. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think if you had to line up every Canadian who's ever competed and all of their physiques, I think one of Fouad's might be the best, most complete, most conditioned, most detailed.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And maybe some of that's just because I'm a junkie Fouad fan since I was young. So I won't tell him that now. I'm denying this.
It's okay. He doesn't watch the show.
Absolutely not. He rarely has me on. So
he only had me on once on like episode 3.
Yeah, well, he had to warm up. He wanted to make sure before it got good. If He
didn't even put it on YouTube.
See, I get asked last minute because he knows I got nothing to do. He's like, "Fuck Dusty, will do this." So, all right, here I like this. I don't have to share or nothing. What's one thing the pandemic has taught you / brought to you that you're thankful for?
95% of the stuff you're concerned with, think about, and worry about does not fucking matter at all. You know what matters? You find out real quick when a pandemic hits and they start closing everything and start taking everything away from you.
True.
Realize what matters. I need a gym. I need my girlfriend. I need a grocery store. I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Perfectly happy for the entire fucking time with those 3 things.
Yeah, I realized quickly that my anti-socialism just set me up perfectly. I was like, I already do this. Y'all should have been with me.
Yeah, just I think it filtered everything for me, and it made making decisions much easier. Mm-hmm. Like I've had to make some very tough decisions this year, the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. And you realize that you don't have time to fuck around, and you have to be decisive, and you have to be committed. And you know what? You can figure it out later. It might not be perfect, but you'll figure it out as you go. Get fucking going. You know what I mean?
No, for
That's
sure.
what 2020's been all about.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. At least, I mean, I'm kind of talking for you and and the guys that own the gym too. Is you guys have been like forced to make moves no one's ever made. I
Yeah,
mean, there's not a fucking rule book for what you guys are doing. Like, I mean,
no,
that goes
it's
for everybody, but I'm talking about you. Like,
really
there was
have.
no like, oh, by the way, if there's a pandemic and they want to shut the gym down, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry,
And
what?
then when they open with restrictions, here's how you handle it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there hasn't been any of that. You had to figure it out as you go. And you know what else it taught me? Nobody is coming to save you.
True.
And that is something that my dad used to say. He's like, don't ever think that you can get a college degree and grab a government job and just cruise through life, because you might be able to, but all it takes is a budget cut and your office is closed and you're fucking unemployed. And it's like, try to make something, try to find your own way. Like he used to tell me that all the time. No one's coming to save you. No one cares if you're going broke. Like, and my dad also, you know, growing up on a farm, there was a lot of stuff the government did that really, you know, pissed my parents off, and massive taxes and all sorts of crazy shit. And they would just say, like, you know, no one really is here to help you. You know, the whole line, what's the biggest lie in the world? I'm and I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Run.
Don't ever count on the government. Don't ever look to them for help. They might help you. There might be some help, but don't count on it. You have to be proactive.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the same. And I think I definitely realized that a lot of the decisions I had made that I didn't think of ended up being really positive. You know, like where you didn't even realize you were setting yourself up to be prepared for something like this. You know what I mean? And all the way down to, for me, simple relationships. And I think that that's a huge thing, is even when the world started shutting down, I had a lot of open doors that were locked for everybody else. And I'm not just talking about the gym. I mean, everything. It's kind of like, oh, well, remember you helped me 12 years ago. So if you need this, I mean, all the way down to medications and shit, getting into doctors, like it got a little sketchy down here, and it was like a phone call away from me. I'm like,
yeah, it makes you appreciate
holy
things.
shit. Yeah, for sure. And people, like, damn.
And also too, you know, I think there were a lot of people who, you know, up in Canada, people were getting the CERB check, you know,
Right.
They were getting, you know, $2,000 every couple of weeks or whatever the fuck it was to just stay at home. And which is great that the government stepped up and helped a lot of people, because I mean, fuck, what a terrible situation. But there were a lot of people that I talked to. I'd be like, so what have you been up to? And they're like, oh, you know, I'm on CERB, so I've just been, you know, hanging out. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're on CERB, you have a lot of free time. Like, are you hustling some side business? Are you starting an internet thing?
What are you doing to build? Yeah.
Are you buying and flipping stuff off eBay? Are you, like, I thought about starting to, like, build bikes and sell them just for fun, because I was on those bike sites all COVID, you know?
Right.
You know, and I mean, the people that didn't start anything, even when it was just for fun, like even just picking up a new hobby, like I'm going to learn guitar. I mean, you know, the old joke, make sure you learn a second language, just shut down, you know, like
Right. Yeah.
that whole thing. But I mean, I can't imagine just stopping and just chilling on the couch. I can't even fathom that. And I think that there's a lot of people that should regret that.
Oh, I think a lot of people do. I know here, because I've had a few friends that own businesses where people accepted kind of stepping away, thinking the government was going to save them. And here, our government really didn't do dick.
Here's $600 to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they got. I mean, I think because I got none.
Yeah, I didn't take any money from the government either.
Yeah, me neither. But I think 1,800 was like the max that anyone got this year. And I'm thinking, well, what the fuck would that do?
See, I think the people here were getting that like every 2 weeks.
See, and that, you know what's crazy is
what do they fucking live on? What does the American government expect your citizens to live on?
I don't think they do. I think truthfully, the long-term idea here is if you need someone, you accept less. But the other problem is people who didn't, and I know a lot of people are going to argue this, but I don't need $1,200, and I don't like anything that feels like I'm getting hooked. So it's not, truthfully, because of how they did it on taxes, it wasn't an option for me, but even if it was, I'm like, sounds like a trap. You're telling me I can just have this? That's it. Don't ever tell me I can have $1,200.
Yeah.
What's the catch?
Yeah.
Like, when does this come back to bite me in the ass? But yeah, I have actually know friends that people who step back and then they're like, oh, can I have my job back? I'm like, well, it's filled.
Yeah.
By someone who wanted to work.
Yeah.
Like, how did you think this should work out? Because they did unemployment. And then when they had the opportunity, because there was unemployment here, obviously pretty drastic, when they had the opportunity to come back, between unemployment and everything, it was kind of close. So a lot of people said, nah, I'll just kind of ride this out. And then when they needed to come back, they were shocked that their job was filled.
Yeah. A lot of people did that here too. Like, why would I work?
You're like, you serious?
It's like you want to work so that you're not a part of the system.
Yeah.
Because the system's going to stop.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be in the system when it stops.
Now what? Oh, and by the way, there's less jobs available because half of the world shut down.
Yeah, now your job's gone, right?
Yeah. Or the entire business. So yeah, no, it's been nuts. But that's a good question, man. I like when people ask something to want to spin it positive, because I went to the mall over the weekend, and I'll be honest, I don't want to go out with normal people anymore. Because it's enhanced. I didn't realize how bad it is here, because you don't think about it, but you're only around people like you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, think the same, talk the same, walk the same. Went to the mall and I was like, oh, I'm the minority. Like, by a lot.
Oh, yeah.
The fear is in the eyes. And I'm like, well, I halfway believe you, but you're also at the mall spending money.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Oh, boy. Why use pink salt? Also, intra or pre-workout?
Why use pink salt?
It happened because someone asked about ingredients that I use in an intra. And I use Himalayan pink salt because it's what I have in my house.
Right. So yeah,
not
the whole
because
thing,
it's magic. I should have probably just used the word sodium.
Just some good sea salt. It's funny because when Ben Pekulski did a seminar here at the gym, someone asked him about Himalayan sea salt, and he's actually not a fan of it.
Right.
Because he goes, oh, there's actually because Ben's really big on the plastics.
Right.
He said something about Himalayan sea salt has like a trace plastic in it.
Right.
And so he's real big on that, and he didn't really like it. He likes like a white sea salt.
Right.
And
I'm over here specifying, but it was like, because I'm doing my answers verbal now. So I say what I do and don't even, literally as soon as I read that question, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't have to be that one.
Just want a good sea salt is awesome. Now correct me if I'm wrong, Dusty, but I'm under the impression that sea salt is actually more than just sodium. There's all sorts of minerals in there. There's some magnesium in there. There's all sorts of stuff in there because it's sea mineral essentially.
Anti-cramp device is kind of, you know what I mean?
Blood volume device. It's a volume supplement.
I could actually repackage that under Dusty Ham's supplement line and sell
it's all the electrolytes that we need, and that's why you want to put it in your pre or your intra, or just maybe you're good using plenty of it on your pre-workout meal. That might be enough for you. But yeah, a big guy who's hydrating a lot, and go back to my almond reference. Takes a lot of water to grow an almond, and it's the same with muscle, So I said to someone the other day, I go, think of the Amazon River, like all that water flowing down that river, but all that stuff growing around it.
Right.
That's your muscle. So you have to run a river of water through your body to grow all that muscle. People need to realize that, all these guys that are like, oh, I drink a liter a day. It's like, that's why you make no gains and your workouts suck.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, because I've been kind of accidentally, you ever notice you push with your clients or just in your talking, the basic shit that no one's listening to? Because that's the key. It's like, what I do is I have a meal 2 hours before and I salt the hell out of everything. And not for enjoyment, just because I know what it does. Then on the way to the gym, I will typically drink a full liter because it's a 20-minute drive. And then during the workout, I don't drink quite as much.
Right.
Because I've already kind of slammed a ton. I sip on an EAA, sea salt kind of mix, but I might drink half of it.
Yeah, and I'll like guzzle the rest afterwards if I have left.
Yeah, slam it and done. But it is that important. And the funny thing is, a challenge for everybody that's listening, if you question it, let yourself be your normal look, your normal water levels and sodium and everything for 3 days. Take a picture. Now, do what I'm saying. Double down. Drink 2 gallons of water. Bring all these things in. Take a picture 3 days after that in the morning. You will look better.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a must, which throws people off since then the next thing they hear before a show is that we dehydrate. Carefully. Okay, let's see here. This is a good one for you because you've done it at a higher level than I have. Hardest part of pushing up weight past those comfortable marks.
What do you mean marks? Like
just being uncomfortable. I mean, to get to 330, you were probably uncomfortable at 315.
Body weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought about it. Like being uncomfortable never, ever even factored in to whether I was going to continue or not.
I'm sorry. I love that because it's painfully accurate.
Do you know, it never crossed my mind. Like people say, oh yeah, I got to 240 and that was just too much. I had to stop. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't cross my mind to stop. I got to 300 and I got to 310, I got to 320, I got to 330. And I just kept thinking like, oh, I'm just going to keep going. Like,
right.
It's never occurred to me that being uncomfortable was enough of a reason to stop. Cause I never thought it was supposed to be comfortable. It just made me look forward to dieting. That's all.
Well, didn't you find though, and I hate leading a question so blatantly, but did you have numbers for yourself? Like, for example, where when you first started, the first time you got to 260 was very uncomfortable, or 280.
Oh, yeah.
And then 300.
Yeah.
Because people will ask that to me now, and they're like, oh, you say you're so comfortable at 280. God, what is that like? Because I joke that I'm like a ninja because I'm light.
Yeah.
But I remember when 250 was terrible.
Yeah. So I remember the first time I hit 300, it was like a real Burger King and D-ball, and just like ramming junk calories and feeling like garbage and just trying to get heavier because I thought there's got to be some muscle in there somewhere.
Right.
And then versus fast forward 10 years later and I'm 300 pounds, on my low dose cruise in between cycles and I, feel small, and I'm going up the stairs, no problem. And
that's what I mean. You're at 300
so
pounds, you feel phenomenal.
It changes.
Whereas early on, because I've always found that's an interesting thing. Like you're curious what that will be again.
It's funny because I with Christmas and stuff, I sort of went off the diet last week, kind of ate a bunch extra food. I was still eating all my clean meals. It was still 90% clean, but I had 3 extra meals, and my weight hit 260.
Right.
And I felt big. I was like, God, I fucking got a crazy pump. Fuck.
Training was a little different that week.
Yeah, it's just funny, So yeah, it is a perception and what you're used to and everything. It's interesting how it works.
I like that though, because that's a really solid answer. Is forget about it. I mean, as long as you don't feel unhealthy, uncomfortable doesn't fucking matter. I mean, isn't that kind of the goal of everything we do? Like, if you're not uncomfortable, are you growing? Whether it's in the gym, whether it's at the table, whether you're getting ready for a show. I mean, if I was ever dieting and felt good, I'd be nervous. Oh fuck. Okay, no, dumb. Don't ask me what's the best cycle stack you've ever used. It's stupid. I have to say that out loud. Sorry. Does Ron use anabolic square plates?
Yeah, very often. Very often I do. My square plates have rounded corners, but they're still very square. Yeah. And they're sort of dished a little, so there's a lot of sauce containment if I have pasta.
Nice.
They're not you have a plate that's too flat. It doesn't do you any favors. You got a little bit,
especially if you put it on the table and you go to lean it down, shit spills out the side.
Yeah. So of course, the square plate is always going to be the gold standard.
I love that shit is
food consumption. I will occasionally, if I have let's say I'm having a smaller meal, like I'm just having some egg whites before bed. I sometimes will use a round plate because I don't have a lot of food, just egg whites. I kind of like the aesthetics of the round plate if there's only one item on it. But once there's more than one item, the roundness really affects me. I can't handle it.
See, that makes sense. It's funny to think about that, but that actually makes sense. You're like, how am I supposed to quarter this off if half is protein and a quarter is this and a quarter is that?
There's only one item on it. A round plate is fine. It actually is okay.
I just flatten it and make it evenly distributed around the edges. Ron has brought to life a reason that a round plate works.
It
actually
work.
is funny because people will send me, they tag me and they'll even say like, hey, sorry, it's not a square plate. And I look at it, I'm like, it does look good, but it kind of looks a mess. I don't know.
Something about it.
I'm going to work out a deal with Bath and Body where if you mention Dusty Hanshaw, you get a discount on your square plates.
Yes, there you go.
I think the amount of people I could send them, we could probably work something out here. They come in, they're like, I need the fucking gains.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Oh, well, this is important, so I guess I'm going to ask you this.
You mean the square plates weren't important?
We're going not
more important.
Well, this goes with it.
Okay.
You finished the anabolic meal on a square plate. It was a fucking proper division plate. While taking a big shit, do you flush it after every part or just everything at the end?
Oh yeah. So the flushing all depends on. Well, if I'm in my own house,
which you should be if you're shitting.
I should do if you're shitting because that's how humans should live. No one should live any other way.
No, weird.
So I just get it all done and do it all at once.
You commit.
Yeah, I commit. But obviously, let's say I think there's any threat that anyone else might need that bathroom within, say, a 45-minute window.
Yeah.
And I might elbow flush a couple times,
Right, the courtesy.
A little courtesy, yeah.
That's nice. That's key.
I'm a nice person. I'm just not gonna alter my ways too much.
Not at home. I mean, Jed's fine with it.
Yes. Yes, he's fine. He just stares at me.
Let's see. Ooh. It's tough to answer. Shelf sub's too long. Okay. Favorite leg movements. Let's do 2 for quads, 2 for hams.
Hack squats for sure.
Yep.
I honestly think I know hooray for squats, and I squatted a lot and I repped 5 plates when I was younger, and all the squats are important and all that stuff. But I think that the leg press and the hack squat are extremely versatile and valuable tools that you should learn to take full advantage of in a multitude of ways. And if you have a leg press and a hack squat, there's nothing stopping you from getting a big set of fucking legs.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What about your hams?
A curl and a hip extension movement, and the best hip extension movement is barbell stiff-legged. So you need either a lying leg curl, which I think is probably my favorite. A good seated is also good. You come out of a stretch position, so it's actually a great exercise. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to do a stiff leg deadlift, that's already a stretch position. So I think you probably would want like a lying leg curl where you get a little more contraction. Mm-hmm. You get both ends of it, so a lying leg curl really gets a good, pretty short hamstring, and the stiff leg deadlift loads it in the biggest stretch, and it's the best way to load it. So those would be the 2 kings of hamstring development, in my opinion. Kind of make everything else look secondary.
Yeah, I think you can literally. I think I could walk into a gym and annihilate my hamstrings with RDL and be done.
Yeah, they're very simple.
Go in, blast. Because I've been doing them now first. So I do a adductor. That kind of gets everything moving for me. Mm-hmm. And then get right down to dirty with the RDLs. And then when I get over to do my lying leg curl, the mind-muscle connection is so sharp that if I cheat even a little lifting my hips, I feel it.
Yeah.
So I can better pinpoint, because that a lying leg curl it's almost as bad as a lateral raise. As far as how many people fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because they think it's easy, and I see them lifting their hips super high, and I'm watching the low back, the glutes, everything but the hamstring work.
It is essentially easy to make the hamstring do like 70% of the movement. Mm-hmm. Like if your leg folds over, I mean, your hamstring did a lot of contracting. But if you're trying to load the fuck out of your hams. You have to have your hips locked in a not moving, and everything nice and solid. So yeah, but doing them right is a different story.
Yeah, I got obsessive a couple years ago because my hams are just terrible. I had to go backwards and say, okay, I'm moving a lot of weight, but what's moving it? Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, I start focusing on lifting my knees at the top to pin my hips.
Yeah, like on a leg extension where you try to lift your thigh up.
Yeah. So same thing, opposite direction. I'm using half the weight and the hams start growing. And then being patient, now I'm back up to using the stack correctly. And oh shit, I have a hamstring.
Right.
Unbelievable. I have a terrible workout partner. Best gym. Oh, would you rather have a terrible workout partner your whole life at the best gym or the best workout partner at a Planet Fitness?
Well, I mean, does Planet Fitness have free weights? I don't even know. Are they just all machines?
I think here's the problem. I mean, if the rules stay at Planet Fitness, it's not going to work because you can't deadlift, you can't do all that.
Yeah. Then it becomes like, then you just sort of like keep your headphones on and ignore your partner and try to just sort of like get around them, I guess, if you're trapped with them. So it's an interesting question, but I think that the fact it's a Planet Fitness sort of makes it impossible to train properly.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if the question was worded different, like just say like a
mediocre gym,
mediocre gym, then I'd be like, oh, that all day long. Like, I'd rather train. Like if I was a kid trying to be a bodybuilder and I could train with you at Dante's basement,
right?
Or I could train at like Bev's with some shithead guy who's just talking all the time and blah, 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 never focused and late for workouts and doesn't spot me right and all that. Then, I mean, it's an easy answer.
Yeah, I think, what's funny, and you and I discussed this already, is the pandemic put me in a smaller gym with less things.
Right.
And now I used to travel all over for equipment just because I could. Now I don't.
Yeah.
I have everything I need, and I realize that now. And now that we've added 5 whole pieces of equipment, I feel like I'm in fucking heaven. So it's a different ball game for sure. But yeah, plus I think what I would do if I have a terrible partner that wouldn't leave though is I'm really good at being a terrible person to someone. If I want them to
drive people out of my life, like no one you've ever met.
Out. Eventually, you will stop talking.
No one makes people feel more unwelcome than I. Yes.
I will find a way. You will be mute while you're there with me.
Humiliate and hurt you.
It's so bad. It's true. I'm like, oh, I can make you stop coming. Don't worry. Okay. I think we got time for one more.
Yes.
Should you only increase food when weight increasing stalls in the off season, or do you keep pushing no matter what? That one seems obvious to me, but okay.
Well, yeah. I don't think you increase food if your weight's going up already, because then you're just probably going to get fat faster. So you want to, in the off season, the scale has to be part of your data, your strength, your workout quality, which obviously strength and workout quality are dictated by recovery. So if you don't have to think too much about recovery, like that's why I said I don't really think about recovery, because I don't think about recovery. I think about how's my strength, how's my workout quality, how's my motivation, because those things all tell you if you're recovering.
Yeah.
So as long as those are great, and your weight's moving up, you don't need to add food. Like you're on a roll. That's and that's that whole surf the curve thing. Like just fucking stay on that wave.
Yeah. I think the key is too, because I know you deal with this with clients, is sometimes they want to change just because we haven't changed in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's like the change is how you're looking. You're consistently getting better, and also understanding that if you're gaining more than a pound or so a week, we're getting fat.
Well, I had a client say to me the other day, he goes, I don't really feel like I'm changing. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, I'm just not changing. And I'm like, you were 182, now you're 188. You were incline hammer pressing 3 plates, now you're incline hammer pressing 3 plates and a 35.
What are you looking for?
He's got a real bad shoulder, so he doesn't do any free weights, right? So we're kind of using the hammer incline as like a real base exercise for him.
Yeah. which is fine.
And I'm like, your hack squat is up 25 pounds a side, and it's better, and you slowed it down, and you go deeper.
Yes, it's a totally different movement now, actually.
And he's like, yeah, but I look the same. I'm like, you're off season.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't get the gratification.
Like
of a
the
prep.
photos don't show. Like it's not like 182 and then 188 is just a staggering difference. It's not like that at all. It's like the pictures are gonna kind of look the same for a long time. It's when you get to 195 that they look different than 182.
And even then, you would have to put them next to each other.
Yes, and then the lighting isn't quite the same, and some of them are from farther away, and so it's yeah. You gotta.
I like the test of the fact that people will tell you.
Yeah.
I remember I did a push a couple years ago, and I knew I was climbing, obviously, but I didn't know how much until Matt was gone for a month.
Oh, yeah.
And he came back, and he's like, what the fuck?
What
and
the fuck happened? You're
what?
Like,
and I didn't know what we were talking about because he just said it. And he's like, how much have you gained? So I went back and looked. I was like, oh, and careful, guys. I'm not talking all muscle here before I finish the sentence. It was up like 18 pounds.
Right.
And I was like, oh, shit, I guess that's more than I thought.
Yeah, you see that in a hoodie. You see 18 pounds in a hoodie. On a guy like you, 18 pounds in a hoodie is like an extra level.
Yeah, you're thrown up there. But again, when you're every day and you're searching for the change, unlike prep, where every 5 minutes you see a change.
Yeah, it's not the same. Hold your horses. I used to not even look at myself off season. I'd just look at my abs.
Right.
And I'd measure my leg with a tape. I was obsessed with that for years. I'd be like, okay, 30.5. Okay, they're getting big. And then I just look at my abs. I still have 4 abs. Let's order pizza.
Fucking gold.
I
think we need to double down. I'm seeing that 5th and 6th trying to come back through.
But I'm going to drink some egg whites with the pizza, so it'll be a really proper meal.
Anabolic. It's fucking anabolic.
Anabolic as fuck, man.
For sure. Well, look at that. Because I saved you with this 30 minutes of banter.
My horrible job with Clarida was, I don't even know, we might just edit that out and do a 30-minute Q&A with you. So
I'm actually stoked to watch this, though, because I was disappointed, but just more or less because I just wanted to hear. So now I get to be a fan and hear what he felt about this. It went
pretty well. I took my skills as a serious interviewer. I watched an interview with Howard Stern on, his favorite questions he's asked. And
oh boy, you asked him his favorite sexual positions? Oh shit.
No, but he was awesome, man. Shaun was awesome. He really opened up. He really opened up, and he gave the fans and the people that watch our show, he gave them a really great look into what the last little while has been like for him. Obviously the win, and he opened his head and showed us what he could. So I'm looking forward to what everybody thinks about it, including you, Dusty.
I'm actually going to write a review on this one.
Okay. I want to see a comment on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm commenting for sure. So much better without that handshot on there.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of comments, eh?
There'll be a lot of those on there, I'm guaranteed.
Right.
I would do that shit if I was a fan. I'm like, fuck this guy for not being on.
Best episode ever.
Yeah, my friends are going to be being the ones doing that shit. You should just get rid of him in general.
Right. And then I start getting a big head like David Lee Roth when he left Van Halen, It's on my own.
We're gonna add 1,000. We're gonna add 1,000 new subs this week because I wasn't on the show.
Okay. Thanks, man. Remember, everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, tell your friends. Play it in the background for people to hear. Make sure everyone knows it's just bodybuilding.